Hello, hello. I'm doing good. Thank you very much for having me.
There we go. You should be able to hear me now. Okay. Check 1, 2. Well, let's do it again. Hey, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Relyea, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we have with us one of the devs from LazyTeaStudios, who is launching a Kickstarter campaign for a brand new metroidvania game called Amber's Tale. We are going to be jumping into the game, playing a short demo that he's got available for us. And yeah, I'm super excited. I saw this game on Twitter maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. And was just really excited to see what they have going on. So Tom, you were here. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's other than the fact it's like 4:30 in the morning for me, and I've had about 2 hours sleep. But you know, it's worth it. We're here. We're excited, and yeah, we're gonna go through this. I'm really hyped. Really hyped.
Yo, I'm excited that you're here, and I really appreciate you reaching out after I had just liked a bunch of your tweets. It was, I don't know, I'm always excited to meet devs. I think it's really cool to jump in really early. So before we get too much further in, I'd like to say hi to everybody who's in the chat. Yo, a YouTuber coming in early, Daniel, Shadow Worlds, hello, Mr. Kebab, if you're still here, the Mad Lad himself, Dead End, good to see you, Blake, Savan, I'm probably butchering, I'm so sorry, Awaken, yo, Kenwazi, welcome back, it is good to see you, Steezy, and who else is here, Matthew McLeod. One day I'm going to learn how to read names, but I don't know how to do it yet. Yo, it is good to see you. Hello, Miguel. Welcome. So, first things first, you know, maybe what I'll do is I'll put the Kickstarter on the screen, and then you can tell us about your game and the Kickstarter. Tell us what is this? Like, sometimes I have to remember that not everybody else knows what the heck it is that we're doing, what we're talking about. So let me minimize that. All right, tell us what's Amber's Tale.
Yeah, so Amber's Tale is a metroidvania, kind of inspired by the likes of Hollow Knight, obviously, Haiku the Robot, and Blasphemous, and those kind of games. And yeah, you basically follow the main protagonist Amber on this kind of journey of self-discovery, as she's out trying to kind of understand these new powers that she's got within her, on a quest to kind of find her brother, who's unfortunately taken away from her, in the midst of the world being all corrupt and yeah, being overwhelmed by this this tainted astral residue, which is kind of explained a little bit more in the demo itself. But it's yeah, it's the main resource that kind of makes this whole world thrive. And it's essentially just magic that is kind of bestowed from the Celestials, as this is it's all based in a post-apocalyptic world where kind of humanity has crumbled, because we're very good at sticking together and not destroying each other. So yeah, unfortunately humanity's faded away. Magic, because of that, has made a bit of a resurgence, as is nature, and it's just kind of bridging those connections between the spirit world and the mortal one, and yeah, kind of discovering yourself and improving and just kind of fighting forward regardless.
Interesting. Okay. And so when you say that it takes inspiration from Hollow Knight and Haiku the Robot and others, have you played all of those games recently?
Yeah, maybe not so much recently with all of them, but I've played them all within the last kind of couple of years. I've actually recently picked up Hollow Knight again, for the first time in a little while, and yeah, I finally managed to beat it. I wasn't. I'm unironically not very good at games, even though I'm making them. But it's just the way they tell their stories, the art style, everything. It's just awe-inspiring. I mean, you can't not love Hollow Knight. I don't know. And then Haiku the Robot is just a little fan favorite of mine. I've been following the Dev Mr. Morris games for donkey's years at this point. And he's just a really inspiring character. Someone who's, I mean, I'm trying to kind of chase the same dream he is. Like, I'm just a young guy from the middle of nowhere, just trying to chase his dream and make games and try to make a living off it, you know? So yeah, it's just a really inspiring story to kind of follow along with and kind of feel with him as well.
Yeah, I think he did a really great job of doing community building before the game came out. Just on Twitter, just always like putting out like more and more content and keeping people updated. Maybe not necessarily exactly like where the game was at in development, but like just showing the different areas and the abilities and different things like that.
Exactly. I'm literally always on his Instagram page being like, ooh, how did he approach this when it comes to a marketing standpoint? How did he approach this when trying to kind of spread awareness, and how did they showcase things without sharing too much? It's like not only just from a gameplay standpoint, but how to actually do his whole marketing campaign and his strategies, and how to actually be entertaining while still being restrictive with what you're capable of showing
Yeah,
gameplay wise.
right?
Yeah, they truly mastered it. Truly mastered it.
Have you also been following Rune Fencer Ilya?
Yes, I managed to get one of those early bird offers. It's great. Yeah, I've been following them for a couple months at this point, actually. Yeah, like actually, like didn't even realize we'd be launching our Kickstarters in and around the same time. So it's like really cool to kind of both be out there doing Metroidvanias. Both pixel art Metroidvanias as well. Two different kind of approaches on kind of the genre a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, two strings from the same piece of cloth, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I only asked because I feel like they also did a very similar marketing push the same way as Haiku the Robot. It's very much, they've been very developing in public, I guess I guess that's the way to put it. It's very much out in the open to try to yeah, it's not like you're gonna shadow drop and be like, yo, now all these people love my game. Like, you got to get people interested in it over time, right?
Exactly. I think that's the way that the kind of industry's pushing, especially small kind of indie studios, to go. Like, we don't have these massive budgets for marketing campaigns and all that. You kind of have to do it all yourself, while also trying to earn yourself some money so you can, you know, live, while also building the game, while also publishing and learning how to present and market. Like, marketing is probably like one of the biggest aspects of this whole game developer gig, and it's just one that it's just really hard to do, because it's not just a case of make an ad and bang it up there. Like, it's all about the community building and the actually being present and being yourself as well, not just a business. It's you have to wear a lot of hats, and it's like, I respect anyone who's able to do it as well as like Rune Fencer earlier and their team have. Like, they've completely smashed it out the park. It's awesome to see.
Hey, give me one. My daughter came in and she didn't realize that we were live. She's like, oh, and shut the door real quick.
No worries.
Whatchamacallit? So a YouTuber wasn't here right at the start and was asking, what is this stream about? So this is a stream where we're going to be talking about Amber's Tale, which is a brand new Metroidvania game that has just launched a Kickstarter today, probably within not even 24 hours, right?
Yeah, I think it's been 11 hours, pushing 12 at this point.
So brand new. And yeah, we're just kind of getting throwing it out there. Like, what is this game about? We're doing a developer Q&A. So LazyTeaStudios is here, Tom, and you say LazyTeaStudios. So how big is this studio? Like, how many people are working on this? Like, how's all that working?
So officially, at the moment, it is just me. However, like on the actual within the studios, but we do have a bit of a team who've been helping me actually create the game. So we've
Yeah, I
got
saw some
and it's
people down here at the team. If you can see my screen.
Yeah, all across the world. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm so blessed to be working with such talented and just amazing people. But yeah, we're all kind of freelancing and helping at the moment because technically speaking, this game has been made with almost a zero budget. Because like I'm a uni student, I'm also having to work, I'm having to make this game. Like there isn't really much wiggle room for much money to be giving to people. But everyone on this page have come together. They've reached out to me and they've helped with the creation of the game just out of pure passion for it. And that's one of the other amazing things. Every single person who I'm working with, I've met through the Instagram account and actually setting up the marketing. They've reached out to me and we've just kind of had those backward and forth conversations, and we've just ended up really vibing, getting on, and just having this shared dream of where this can take us and what we can do, and ended up working together. Like Hannah, the character artist, she actually originally entered a draw it in your own style competition that I hosted for, I think it was for hitting 2,000 followers on Instagram. It was either 1,000 or 2,000. I did a little draw this in your style, put a picture up of Amber visiting Granny Nova's shop, like a little in-game snapshot that I had at the time. And had a bunch of people enter the competition. Hannah actually ultimately won. And from there, I just fell in love with her art style completely. And I just knew that I wanted to incorporate it into the game somehow. Even though it wasn't pixel art or anything like that, I was just like, I need to figure out a way to kind of get this and figure out how we can work together. Which is why all the characters that you see when you actually interact with the characters in game, they're actually all done by Hannah. Just trying to get them in that way. And we're looking, hopefully, if all things go well, with the Kickstarter and we do manage to reach our goal, we are looking to kind of work together on a more kind of intimate capacity and have her work on more in-game assets and animation and all that kind of stuff, because she's got such a passion for art. Absolutely ridiculously talented individual, and it's just absolutely like blessing to work with her and just share the passion. Like she shares it with me, and it's still unreal to kind of have that as well. It's not just me, it's these other people around me as well. It's
I'm not gonna lie, the art style looks absolutely amazing. Like that's one of the first things that brought me into the game, or even like gave it a look, was just like, it looks really good.
Yeah, like that's completely down to the likes of Hannah and Brandon, Pen USB Mike. I mean, originally the whole art inspiration. Brandon is he's a pixel artist over in Canada. He's got a huge following on Instagram, and he makes these kind of game dev custom packs with different enemies and environmental assets and that kind of stuff. And originally, I was kind of looking at university for one of my projects, and I needed some art assets because I cannot draw to really save my life. Like I can vaguely program okay, I can like bring things together and I can make things look okay, but the actual sitting down and having to do the actual art itself, I am abysmal at.
Yeah.
So I was looking for some art assets. Stumbled across Pen USB Bike about 3 years ago, just when I was starting out with uni, and pretty much all my uni projects have used his assets throughout the whole of development. And Amber's Tale was one of those where it was kind of pulling a lot of his packs together to kind of see what I could come up with, and it just ended up evolving from there. But yeah, Hannah and Brandon, they're the two kind of main artists behind it all, when it comes to actually design the environment, the characters, and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. Plus, because Brandon's packs are kind of public and available to download for anyone as well, you also get to see kind of some of these assets used in other games as well. So it's cool to see how every different dev has kind of like used the same set of tools to make different games. So it's kind of cool.
Interesting. Okay. And so first off, I want to mention and let everyone know that if you want to check this out while we're doing the Q&A, I mean, it'll be there no matter what. But there's a demo available. Where is it? It's right just underneath story, and then there it is. Play the demo here. In fact, I'll even copy the link and put it in the chat. So if you want to go check it out, one person did say, let's see, Shadow Worlds says, I don't really like the controls very much, but they're playing on keyboard and mouse. Did you design this to be played on a controller, or are you also a keyboard player? What's your design or control design? What are your thoughts on that, on how it should be played, or how you're developing it?
Yeah, I mean, I personally am a controller player when it comes to these kind of games. So when I'm actually playtesting, using a controller is the first point to call for me. Not only that, but because my keyboard itself is like a 60% keyboard, and it's really awkward for me to use my actual arrow keys, so it can be a bit tricky. But ultimately, there will be options in the demo or later builds of the demo to actually rebind everything. It's just something that when it comes to the actual programming it and stuff, it's a bit tricky. For me, at the very least, like, it might be a really easy thing for most people out there, but like, programming isn't my forte, and it's just something that, yeah, it will be in the game eventually. It's just not something that, especially with all the time pressure I've had to kind of get this up and running and finished, I just wasn't able to get in the game, unfortunately. But for the most part, it is optimized to kind of be played with a controller where possible.
Raj, I feel like that makes sense. I mean, most games, I think all games are better on a controller. Let's be honest. Like, there's very few games that are keyboard and mouse only, like RTS games. StarCraft 2. You know,
yeah.
Like, but other than that, I mean, most games I'm thinking controller only. And chat, I love you even if you disagree with me, but you can't change my mind. This is not a change my mind session. So you say you're in uni. What are you going to school for? Or you just finished, you said, right?
I'm technically... Oh, those voice cracks. It's too early, apparently. Yeah, technically still at university. This is my final year. I've still got a couple more submissions to do before I have actually finished. But when it comes to actually going to lessons and being on site, that is all done for me now. Other than the likes of graduation, hopefully, if I get there, fingers crossed. Other than that, yeah, pretty much finished. It's just a case of getting those finishing touches on the rest of my assignments and submissions and getting them put in. But I actually study game design and development specifically.
Okay, cool.
So I've been doing that for the past 4 years, and it's a bit of an interesting tale, to be fair, because I'm a mature student, so I went to university a bit later than kind of most people typically would. In the UK, at the very least, I don't know necessarily what it's like over in America or other countries, but in the UK, typically you'll kind of do your GCSEs, go to your A-levels, and then around 18, 19 is when most people would go to university to start their degree. But I actually wasn't 100% set on going to university originally, so kind of started working for a bank, kind of having that real life, quote unquote, experience, to kind of get into the gist of it, but really did not enjoy myself. So decided, you know what, I kind of want to chase this dream a little bit more. I've always liked games, so let's become a game designer. That sounds fun. But originally started out doing computer science instead, computer science for games more specifically, and very quickly found out that like I was good at the programming side of things, but it just didn't interest me as much as the other aspects of game creation, like the design. Even the art it might not be something I'm necessarily very good at, but I really enjoyed the process of actually going through and setting up and actually bringing all these things together to make an entire world. And luckily enough, after the first year of studying computer science for games, my university actually opened up a brand new course which is the one I'm on, game design and development. And I ended up switching over, starting completely from scratch again. But
Oh, no.
I haven't looked back since. Like, it
That's
was
awesome.
the best decision I ever made. Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I love the course. Love the process of doing all game design. I'm a bit of a nerd for spreadsheets and all those maths and pie charts.
Interesting.
And it's really sad, but you know, it's awesome. I love it.
So if you had to break down a game to like its like major roles, so game design being different from programming, then you've got art design, and then probably marketing. What
Yeah.
are those like the main four, or are there other stuff on top of that? I should know this by now.
There are so many different roles when it comes to making a game. Some, like, even just within the field of art itself, you've got the likes of actually like asset art, environmental art, character design, prototyping. You've got things like what's it called, where you make shaders, technical artists, which is a whole other ball game. But I'd say generally speaking, when you're looking at kind of the fields within kind of game design as a whole, or creating a game, you've probably got like programming, who are generally the people who make the game work, artists who make the game look pretty, and then designers who make the game feel good to play, and then of course sound designers who make the game sound
Yeah, you
good.
can't forget sound.
Honestly, sound is one of the most underrated aspects of game creation. My goodness, like, it's so underrated, but it's one of the most important things. Like, you can have a game that looks poopy but sounds great, and it will just be better than one that sounds terrible and looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I mean, even just like with like YouTube videos and content creation and whatever else, microphone is far and above way better than the visuals on whatever it is that anybody sees. So
Exactly.
let's see, is he doing this with his buddies in his university? That's a good question. I'm not sure. Where did you meet the people? And then also somebody was asking how could they join your team, or if you're even taking on any more people. So you can answer that one too if you'd like.
Yeah, so I'll start off with the are we taking on at the moment, just 'cause that would be a bit of a quicker answer. Honestly, it completely depends on the outcome of the Kickstarter, to be perfectly honest. Ultimately, if we are able to, we would want to take on more talent, because more people working on the game, generally speaking, the better the game will be. Like, I'm just one person, especially, and generally, yes, I focus on the more game design and programming side of things, but I know that I am terrible when it comes to the programming side of things. I'm terrible when it comes to the artists, and I would rather get some people who really enjoy that aspect of game creation, and B are just straight up better than me at it to help me out. Like, I'm not one to kind of I'm the first guy to put my hand up and say, like, I am bad at this, I need help, and like I'm more than happy to take that kind of on. But unfortunately, it is always that case of you do have to pay people, and yeah, I'm a broke student, so I don't really have all that much in the way of money. So yeah, ultimately, if the Kickstarter is successful, yeah, we ultimately would want to take on more talent to make the game as good as possible. But outside of that, we are planning to host kind of regular competitions and things like that. And on the Kickstarter itself, there are opportunities to kind of put yourself in the game and help with the design or certain aspects of the game creation as well. So you can kind of put in that creative flair to kind of help out that way even. And as I mentioned, like previously, how I actually met one of the artists I work with, Hannah, is through a Draw It In Your Style competition that I hosted. I just loved her work so much that we decided to work together and create the stuff in the game. So yeah, I'm not opposed, and I'm actually wanting to work with as many people as possible. But ultimately, it is a case of financial distribution. I can't necessarily pay everyone at the moment as much as I would want to.
Yeah.
But it's not off the table, 100%.
Yeah. And then Pandora's asking if there's some conventions you can go to show off new games that you plan to make.
Yeah, so honestly, I want to go and showcase this in as many places as possible. I do know that I think it's the Steam, is it Steam Next Fest that's
Steam Next
coming
Fest,
up?
yeah. They got a
Yeah,
lot of them. I think you can only do the Steam Next Fest once, so you want to time it for when it's like kind of closer to launch though.
But
I could be
I'm
wrong,
wanting
double
to-
check that one.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm probably not the best person to ask about that because honestly, I don't really know all that much about a bunch of conventions, especially because Amstel is very early into development. It's not something that I probably could take to conventions and properly shelf because it is very much a prototype at this point. More than anything else. But ultimately, yeah, I want to take it to as many different places as I can. Maybe in like 6 months' time, once we have a maybe more stable version of the game, a bit more polished, we'll have more assets in there, a couple different zones, a few bosses, and just have it a bit more generally like fleshed out. Yeah, I'll be looking to take that anywhere in the world that I can. Like I've got a big travel bug, and it'd just be awesome to just go explore and meet some amazing people. Speak to yourselves out there if you ever go to these conventions as well, and just share what we've got to offer because it's
that'd be fun.
awesome doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if I usually stick to the ones in San Diego. I don't really travel too much, and partially because I'm a full-time accountant with a family of 5. I got 3 kids. 10, 5, and 3 now. They're getting big, so I don't leave too terribly often. Except for I'm also in the Air Force Reserve, so there's times I have to leave with the military here and there for a week or a month at a time, and that's hard enough on the wife, let alone to be like, yo, I'm gonna go leave to go hang out with game devs and have fun. Like, see you later. Have fun watching the kids by yourself.
Yeah, I think that's one of the perks of being being kind of at uni, no kids at the moment, and being with my partner. She's a massive traveler as well, and ultimately, like, we're probably looking at moving soon as well, traveling the world and just trying to live in a few different little countries. So probably looking at the likes of, to be fair, 2 of our main contenders at the moment are kind of maybe Bali or Austria, just generally lower cost of living, so it means there's more money that can be pushed into Amber's Tile, but also just the general beauty and being in Europe and Asia and just being in a different place completely and being able to just still just live my life, like do my game development and still reach out and still, because I'm a bit of a shut-in. I don't really go outside and interact with people all that much. So like, yeah, we love our hiking and all that kind of like quiet time, you know? Yeah. Being out with nature. I mean, you'll see from the gameplay, if you can't tell, I like being in the forest. It's kind of just my happy place. So just kind of going out there and bringing the outside indoors. So yeah, we're looking to see, just travel all over the place and just see what we can make of it. You know, just enjoy life while we still can.
Let's see. Somebody was asking a little bit. I'll read this first little bit for the plot. A once peaceful forest had become a place of darkness and despair. Amber's heart ached with the pain of loss and the fear of the unknown as she was haunted by the memories of that fateful day when her brother was taken from her. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna jump into the game to do the demo. We'll still hang out and everything. And chat, if you have any questions. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Chat, go ahead and leave feedback on what you think makes a great indie game. Whether it's lots of different areas, different enemy designs. Like, what are some of those like key pieces that you like to see in an indie game? Yeah. What feedback would you give ahead of launch? All right. So first things first, always check the left, and the fact that there's not something here hidden to the left, I don't know how I feel about that.
I am terribly sorry. Now let me just patch the game on Steam real quick.
Just fix that up right away.
that whole other area, you know, just completely missing out. I can't believe I've got to remove that wall.
So right off the bat, I do like the responsiveness, especially like in the air, where you can just kind of like, I don't know. There's some games like old Mario games. You had to have like speed to run and turn around and stuff like that. I like that I can turn and move. It's highly responsive. Let's just put it that way. And then I like testing how much coyote jump there is. You know, when you like run off of a ledge and then jump. Some games have a lot of it. Some games not so much.
Yeah, like it's something that I was just playing around with so much when it comes to. That's probably like 90% of the whole player character creation. It was just like literally running off ledges, jumping back onto them, and just wiggling my control stick around like the whole time just to see what feels good.
Yeah.
And just getting other people to play it, because like it's one thing to kind of think, oh yeah, this feels good. I like the way it feels, but I'm not the one that's going to be playing it all the time. You know, it's other people, and if it doesn't feel good to 90% of the people out there, you know, there's ultimately something wrong. So getting as many hands as possible as early on, even when it was just when the whole game was just a bunch of boxes and squares, being like, yeah, but how does this feel? It might not look good, but how does it feel?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's see. A YouTuber says, I think a great indie game would be a fast action-paced kind of stuff. Also, Relyea, man, the stream got real sad with LST talking about life and having to really good and save it, right? Made its demo. Come on. Oh, when I was talking about going left. Let's see. When I first played Hollow Knight, there was a bug with this shifting dash, casting multiple damage. Looks smooth. It is smooth, which is nice. The layer art is awesome. Yes, I agree. I like the pogo. Picking up the heel. Which
Whoa.
What's that?
Spoilers.
Did I spoil it?
No. You were just like, before you even interacted with it, you're like, oh, the heel. Like, whoa.
Whoops.
You gotta have that big ambiance. It's like boom, boom, heel, whoa. I need to add sound effects to that so it's a bit more grandiose, you know? I'm just like, yeah, you are more powerful now. Woo!
Yeah, one of the things I always like or one of the things that can be bad with some indie games is having the same enemy that just gets reskinned over and over in different areas. And it's just like, oh, the red one's stronger because it's red instead of blue. And his attack is a lob shot instead of a straight shot. And it's just like, no, give me new enemies.
Yeah, like that's honestly level design and enemy design, the actual creation of it is like some of the most interesting stuff. Like honestly, one of the best things that I've been doing is like as an actual developer is just ironically just playing other games, seeing what kind of things they come up with, and seeing how what could I do to mix this up a little bit so it could work in the context of my game.
Yeah.
And making it so it is just like, yeah, you're not just hitting something that's moving in a circle like the bird who just smacked. But yeah, ultimately it is that kind of fine line, because at the end of the day, it's also, especially for this demo part, it's tricky because it is early on. You need to introduce the players to kind of the game. Can't make it too difficult right at the get-go. So unfortunately, you can't just kind of throw these interesting enemy types right in at the beginning. But we do have a lot planned for kind of maybe some of the later areas, and with some more interesting enemy design that, you know, nothing like the primal aspids, of course, because they are terrible and nobody liked those.
Nobody liked those. Everyone booed them.
Yeah, so instead of shooting three little globules, you know, we're gonna shoot 4 instead, just to make it worse. It's not a primal aspid though, so it's fine. But yeah, just I really want to have an emphasis on the enemies themselves interacting with the environment, not just being we move left and right and do these kind of stuff, but no, depending on what's around you, the enemies will do different things, and like,
being able to pick up a rock to throw it or something, or not like that at all.
Maybe. But like one of the big things as well is the kind of bridge you've got with the celestial plane, and the like, magic and nature are coming back together. So that's one of the main focuses that I want to kind of emphasize with the actual game design of Amber's Tale. and it's kind of, how can I kind of dictate that things are going bad, or things are maybe corrupted, or maybe things that are once peaceful are now turning aggressive, and it's maybe out of their control. So it's like, how can I kind of put that across and portray it without kind of saying it, but showing it, and having the enemies actually interact with the world and do things that maybe look a bit out of character, or like just the fact that we've got cute little foxes that hurt you. That's not what cute little foxes do. You want to pet them. You don't want to go around being hit by them. That's not on. And it's that kind of idea of taking the unexpected and making it become normal is kind of what I'm really wanting to do ultimately. Ooh, that was just watching you play. that was unfortunate little knockback there.
Let's see. Who's it? Blazefire is saying fair upgrades, new abilities, boss fights in an order that makes it challenging but not impossible as you go along through the game. So that's some of the things that they like to see. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something I may have like messed up with ever so slightly with this demo. Like, you've got these pretty easy enemies, and then the boss fight is like, it's not a hard boss fight, but it's a bit of an immediate jump up in difficulty. Really.
Yeah, right.
But I'm also like, I really like the Souls-like genres as well. It's like, I kind of want the game to be a bit hard, you know.
Ooh, so then what are your thoughts on having difficulty controls to be able to let you have those difficult bosses, but then also giving the player the choice to say, nah fam, I don't feel like doing that right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of want to go at it maybe a different route. Like, instead of having like this is the easy mode kind of option, having it so that the actual game design can dictate how difficult it is. Kind of like with Elden Ring, right? You've got it's a hard game, but you can make it a lot easier by using your summons, you know? And using the summons themselves is inherently kind of their version of easy mode. So instead of having this like slider that says the game is now easy for you, have it so you've got the tools that you can use if you want to make things easier, but you don't necessarily have to. You can make it inherently more challenging for you by maybe not using 100% of the resources given to you. And that's kind of one of the things that I've tried to emphasize a little bit in this demo, even in just a small way. Like, ultimately, using the same resource, the astral residue, for healing, amongst other things, you can just go out into the world and just farm like 600 astral residue, and you can brute force the boss by just healing when there's a little bit of downtime, you know? Or you can try and do it as quickly as possible. Like, it's you kind of set your own limits, your own boundaries.
I was wondering what your thoughts were on the healing being tied to monies, because if it's something where, if there's any parts where you have to save up a bunch of money, that's not going to be fun. Potentially, if you're having a difficult time in an area and you're trying to save up a ton of money. Made it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, those little things, like, ultimately you, spoiler alert, get a dash in, like, the next room.
What?
But you can come back
on!
But, like, adding those little bits so you can kind of just skip things, you know? I love those little birds are so useful. There's, like, so many little skips that I've, like, purposely left in there, like, if you're able to find it. Like, there is a skip that you can do that allows you to get the both upgrades, like, within the first, like, 2 minutes of the game and skip a bunch of rooms. There's a skip that allows you to just get straight to the boss without equipping anything.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. There's, like, a few little bits that I've left in that, like, if you know Metroidvanias, you can probably figure it out, but, yeah, maybe, like, most people actually miss them. It's like, okay, cool. But, like, if you want it, you can go.
Oh, he took double damage. Ooh. We're back at the start.
Oh dear. Ooh.
That's okay.
It's okay. We get to see these cute areas again. The foxes are back.
Woo. They're back. There we go.
Right. Yeah. What was I saying? I'm completely lost. It's too early in the morning. Blimey.
Wait, real quick. Let me say, Jasmine the noob. It is good to see you. How are you doing? So anybody who's just joining us, we are taking a first look at Amber's Tale, which is a brand new Kickstarter game. So this was just launched on Kickstarter today. There's links in the description to be able to check out both the demo and the Kickstarter itself if you want to go check out their Kickstarter page. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, so I've got Tom with me here, who is the developer, and he's we're doing a little Q&A. So if you got any questions, a couple of people have asked about lore, so I feel like now's a good time as ever to kind of just bring that back up. And then also somebody's asking, is there fall damage? And I think the answer is no. I don't think we've taken any fall damage.
Yeah, no fall damage. No one likes fall damage, you know?
No,
that's no fun. Does. No one enjoys that. Like, no. She's got legs that are just like, she doesn't skip leg day, you know? She can fall from any height, and she's Gucci, you know? Yeah, with regards to lore though, it's so tricky, like trying to find that line of, I need to like PR trade myself so I don't just give away everything.
Yeah, not everything.
Not everything.
Yeah, just the hook.
Yeah, I guess the hook generally would be you're in a world where humanity has failed, humanity has crumbled over the years. You know, we love apparently unaliving each other and going to war, and as a species, just generally we've crumbled because we've failed ultimately to work together, and it's ultimately caused our demise. And because humanity has failed, you know, magic and nature have started to resurge a little bit, and Amber, our protagonist here, has a unique connection to the celestial realm, which will get explained later. I can't really spoil too much with regards to that one. But she's got these special connections. So she'll reach out, and she's ultimately on a journey to discover what's tainting the wildlife and the creatures of this world. And just kind of, and also to find her brother, who has unfortunately been taken away from her. He's been kidnapped and abducted. So yeah, she's on a journey of self-discovery, discovering who she is, her place in the world, while also off trying to restore her connections to the celestial plane, the celestial world, and find her brother ultimately.
There you go. Will, good to see you, Relyea, back doing what he does best. Shoot. What can I say? I love supporting Metroidvanias and people who are going after their dreams of making games and stuff. Because, I don't know, I think part of it is I grew up. Who among us here didn't grow up as gamers, right? Like, gaming in general is just, it gets a hold of you. It's in your blood. And I think that everyone grows up thinking about making their own game. So I think that part of the reason why I love indie games is just like, man, I don't know. I would have liked to have made my own game at some point. I don't think it's in the cards. I don't think I'm ever actually going to do it, but I think it's really cool. I like to be able to support people who are going after their dream and doing that. So, yeah, there you go. Jack Attack, it is good to see you. Welcome back, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see. So, yeah, just making our way through all this. Let's see. Not that way.
Definitely not a subtle nod to Hollow Knight right there with the unhallowed nest. Don't know what
there you go.
There is actually another little Hollow Knight hidden little Easter egg as well. I won't disclose where that is, but there is one out there. It's a very subtle one, in kind of close to the beginning of the game. So if anyone finds it, shout out as well. Let us know. Be interesting to see if you notice. Yo,
Jasmine the Noob. That's a lot of months. 33 months as a member. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And also a lot of you have stuck around even when I was gone on a little hiatus for a couple of months. So thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Ooh. There we go. Easy slap. Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if the pogo reset your dash or not.
The pogo itself doesn't necessarily reset it. It's more just on a set cooldown, but I like it to be pretty low. I like to be able to dash around as much as possible because, you know, dashing's fun, you know? Having all this mobility.
So if you jump in the air, you could dash twice if you if you're in the air long enough. It's not like
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Sure.
Let's see. Member hype. That's right. Let's see. Hollow Knight Easter egg at the beginning is really cool. Ah, I didn't even see it. Might have to go back. Hey, YouTuber, we'll see you later. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's see. Did I already talk to this person? I can't remember now. Yo, Snuggy coming in on his birthday and gifting me 5 memberships? Throwing the memberships around? Yo, can we get a happy birthday, Snuggy, in the chat? Let's see. Oh, I know what I got. I got something for you, buddy. I got a little something here. Let's see. My random dances are broken, but I do have. I've got this. Yeah. There you go. There you go. That one's for you, Snuggy. I hope that wherever your significant other took you, it was good. I hope you had a great day today, Snuggy. What were you saying, Tom?
I was just saying happy birthday, Snuggy.
Yeah.
All the best, my man.
Coming in with all the hype. So yeah, so Snuggy, what we're doing right now is we got LazyTeaStudios here with us, who's developing a new game, launching it on Kickstarter, and yeah, we're just checking out the demo. Yo, Korean barbecue, and I'm meat drunk, dude. I went and got Korean barbecue with my wife for, man, we did some sort of date night or something like that. So good. Just the food just does not stop coming. Tom, have you done that before? Korean barbecue?
I've not, but I really want to try this now.
Do you know what it is, or you don't know?
Is that the one where you like make it yourself, like on the table?
Yes. And they just keep bringing you more and more food. It's so good. All right, chat. We're here at boss number 1. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss actually took me a little bit to get 100% down.
Yeah, it's not the easiest one, the first boss, especially when you compare it to some other enemies that are in the game alone. Here's a little fun fact for you. While developing this game and having a bunch of playtests, the average number of attempts was 20 to get this boss.
20? Oh, that's kind of cool that you can actually see that. How do you, like, it just saves that information?
No, I just pretty much sat through every single playtest with people.
Okay. I was like, does Steam save that information? Is my play data just like saved somewhere? I mean, I understand like achievements are public and like that's something that people can see, but
yeah, it's something that I probably do need to like maybe hard code just so I can have that information just like in the back end, because that kind of stuff is really useful. But no, I was just there with you guys, especially watching every single playtest personally, just because watching and actually seeing, you notice so much more when you're not actually playing the game and,
I'm sure
someone else is playing. So yeah, I've got hours, many hours of just watching people play this game.
There we go. There we go.
Let's try as well.
Nova. Oh. Hello, dear.
And yeah. Is this the first game from LazyTeaStudios? Yes. Officially, yes. I have got other little prototypes and such that I've made throughout kind of my game dev career while I've been kind of at university for different projects and stuff. But yeah, this is my first official project.
All right, Snuggy, we'll see you later. Thank you so much again, and have a great night. First official project. Like, this looks so good. And the controls feel good. Like, I'm really excited to see where you end up taking this. So, as of right now, I mean, it's okay if this ends up getting into spoiler territory, but are there any mechanics that you're thinking of that you want to use that are not anything that you're excited to bring to the world, or a mechanic that you're excited to explore, right? Like, I feel like, because otherwise, if there's no new mechanic, then what are we doing here? What are we playing? It doesn't have to be brand new, but what is it that you're doing that? Yeah, I guess that's my question.
Yeah. I mean, how do I approach this without being kind of too spoilery?
Because you don't have to share every
mean,
mechanic in the game, but I don't know. Is there any one that you could share?
I think it'd be more like how I actually present the mechanics more than any individual mechanic itself.
Okay.
It'd be how you kind of merge and manipulate your character itself to play in different ways. I mean, one of my personal gripes, I guess, with Metroidvanias is that yes, you get a lot of abilities, but you never really, other than like for example with the like charms in Hollow Knight as a main example, you can customize the abilities themselves a little bit, but you can't necessarily customize how you play the game. Like, I want to have lots of different abilities, and you kind of pick and choose which ones you want to actually work with at any given time.
Okay.
So rather than you could have a full offensive build where you've got like 5 or 6 different ability related kind of cooldowns and offensive abilities that you can use, but you're sacrificing maybe the dash, maybe that you don't have the double jump because you're wanting to use these other abilities. But yeah, I'm wanting to have more ability types, and you kind of pick and choose which ones you want to use in different situations, rather than just saying these are the abilities you work with. You don't have any customization over that, except for like you can maybe dash a bit more often, or your dash goes a little bit further. No, I'll give you a whole another ability that you can choose to. You can still upgrade these abilities in the same kind of way, but I want the actual process of designing how do I want to play this game? How do I want to approach this boss specifically to be different throughout the whole time you're playing the game?
And then maybe sometimes it's you should be using these other abilities, ability A versus ability B, because it's this boss or that boss, right?
Exactly. Like with this boss, yeah, it's easy enough to do without the dash, but the dash makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
You know? So maybe this one, I and that also leads into kind of the difficulties kind of side of things. Like you can use different abilities to make bosses and such easier or harder, just depending on how you actually want to play the game itself. Because the way I enjoy the game isn't necessarily the way that you'll enjoy the game. So I want to cater to both play styles, and the easiest way to do that is just make it a bit more customizable. Yeah.
So with that customization, do you plan to be able to make it so it can be changed on the fly, or something that you have to be at a checkpoint and you have to plan it? Like it's something that's more deliberate as you go.
Oh, you can do it kind of on the fly. I don't. There will be something
available, kind of thing.
Yeah, it might be that you wouldn't be able to do it like in the middle of combat per se.
Okay.
But there might be like a certain resource that you might have to use in order to do that. That's going to be a whole balancing issue. That's a problem for future Tom to figure out. But I just don't like the idea of being restricted in any way. Like, I just have visions. Maybe you've been kind of playing the game for like 10 minutes to get to a certain point in the game, and then you realize, oh no, I need a dash to progress further than this. You've got 1 health, the bench is 10 minutes away. It's just like, well, that's not fun for you.
Yeah, especially if it's a traversal one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll make it so that you are able to just kind of maybe in that situation make just small adjustments so you can get over those situations. But yeah, I want it to be as flexible, as customizable as possible while still keeping it balanced, you know.
So somebody was asking about, let's see, is he planning on having harder versions of bosses like with the Dream Nail? And I was just looking at the stretch goals, because there's definitely be a hardcore mode. Well, when I say definitely, we're gonna reach the Kickstarter goal and then it'll be in there.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, the thing with these stretch goals as well, they're all stuff that I do want to be in the game. It's just a case of like, yeah, having the money to be able to pay people so we can get it done. But
yeah,
ultimately, if I have to bootstrap this myself, work a full-time job, and just do this on the weekend, ultimately this will be a thing. That all this stuff will be in the game. It's just a matter of how quickly necessarily. But yeah, ultimately a hard mode. Yeah, I want that a separate mode where you get no second chances. If you die in the game, you're starting over, because some people like that. I mean, it's maybe not my cup of tea, because I'm, as I mentioned earlier, terrible at video games. But yeah, it's something that I really like watching people do, the kind of speed runs and the no-hit runs, and that kind of gameplay and that kind of challenge is really interesting to some people. So yeah, I want to cater to that. And yeah.
A lot of people are saying it looks like Rain World a little bit.
Yeah, I only recently discovered Rain World. I've been watching a bunch of stuff on the development of that game, and the development of Rain World is so cool. It's kind of a very similar kind of situation to mine. The guy developing it was kind of just at university, trying to figure out different projects, and just ended up coding this cool like ecosystem kind of these enemy scripts that like evolved with each other and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that. Like, I need to play the game. I've not played it myself, but yeah, I can see the similarities. The lighting in that game is incredible.
Random off-topic thing. I was looking at your press kit. Put in a couple of key art items that people can use for thumbnails.
Yeah,
super helpful. Super helpful for content creators. I think for this one I took some version of this image and just had to blow it up like crazy.
Yeah, I'll throw some of those in. To be fair, I had a screenshot folder somewhere. I must have just forgot to upload it.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get some of those in. I'll do it. I'll do it after the stream here. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I need to be editing the Wii corruption videos. I'm missing something on that one.
Shadow Worlds, you're stuck on the boss. I mean, I can give you a few tips if you want. There's the first tip I always give to anyone who's struggling with the boss is it doesn't chase you. It has a set path that it always just moves left to right. It doesn't chase you. So you can kind of use that and manipulate it to make sure that you're always on the opposite side that it is running. So you're chasing it rather than it chasing you. And that makes it a lot easier, especially when it comes to avoiding and getting cornered.
I always thought it was going to turn around. Behind. It never turns around like mid go, does it?
No, it doesn't. I think there's one instance where it does that, and that's when it goes to the second phase, and that's the only time it'll turn around like that.
Got it. I was always worried that it would.
Yeah, and it's kind of like. Actually, though, it really does. They need to add a little DLC that just like gives it a reskin,
So let's see. So there's still early birds available. I always like looking at the different backer tiers. 15 once the early bird's gone. The Songbird Award, so you get the digital soundtrack. The Artistic Fox, you get the digital art book. Let's see, what is that? Bears Horde? Horde? Yeah.
Yeah, Bears Horde. You get all of it.
You get both of them. All right. Let's see. The Stagas? Stagas? Plays games? Stags. Play games reward. So, the limited edition cloak for Amber and Game. Good stuff. And then access to the beta build. See, this is the one that I'm gonna end up going with. You gotta get the beta builds. It's all that. Exactly. It's all for that sweet content. And then you get the T-shirt, character sticker set, name, and message added. Ooh. If not that one, the other one would be cool. Would be an NPC. Plushie reward. There you go. Anywhere in the world. Let's see. NPC
worldwide.
Right. NPC reward. Design a character must be approved by the team, which makes sense. NPC++ to be able to get the character and quest. enemy award. Let's see. Now I need to go on Kickstarter. Here, I'll help you out. Here is the link. Make sure to go check out this game and be sure to back it. Let's see. Mini boss. Design a mini boss with us. Your name in the credits as a super backer. This one I was a little bit surprised about, that you have it up to 5 people to be able to design an ability. Because 5 abilities sounds like a lot for ones that you weren't planning on putting in, you know?
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of it. Because I want so many different abilities and ability types in the game. It'd be interesting to see kind of what other people can kind of come up with. And ultimately, yeah, some of them might end up being similar, but that's why we will work together to see if we can come up with something that's kind of unique in its own kind of way, but still allows it to be completely tailored to kind of what you're wanting to do. Because to be fair, like there could be some abilities or some kind of like ability type, whether it's an AoE or like a teleport or something like that is just not in the game, and you know, you just want to get added in. So yeah, like there's probably like no real hard cap on the number of abilities I could potentially add, because ultimately the limit is going to be how many you can use at any given time in the game itself.
I think you just have to watch out as far as where they go, if they have any sort of like change to your movement, right? Like if an ability is an uppercut that sends you flying into the air, well, you can't have that too early, or it could be like a sequence break, right?
Exactly. So it's making sure to kind of keep things as balanced as possible, and yeah, because it also affects the actual level design in itself as well, like how I actually create the world itself. That's why a couple months ago, when I was actually still making the world, I had to decide, right, for the demo, do I want to add a wall jump or do I want to add a dash? Because like both of those ultimately will be in the game, but when I'm designing the actual world space itself, how you move within the world is dependent on what abilities you have. Like if I added the wall jump, you wouldn't have those little pools of water that you have to dash over. Like you wouldn't be able to get past them. So it deciding which ability to use completely changed the way the world looked. Like it would be a completely different demo if everyone decided to go for the wall jump. So yeah, adding anything that kind of adds any form of mobility can affect ultimately how you explore the world and the places you can reach, especially when it comes to like shortcuts, like the fireball movement that you skip that you've got in Hollow Knight.
Yep.
This is a damaging ability that you can use to do some really, really good skips. So it's like you gotta really be careful with this kind of stuff.
Let's see. Juan Castillo is asking, so is this with Fangamer? So I think probably talking about the plushies and the shirts and stuff. Is that gonna be done through Fangamer? Or any of the reward tiers?
I've not. I'm kind of in conversations with a bunch of different people at the moment with regards to that. So I can't really confirm anything specific for the time being. But as soon as kind of I've locked everything in, I'll be putting updates out for sure.
Cool. Very excited for all this. All right. I think that we're probably gonna wrap this up. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the Kickstarter, or what you call it, or where are the main channels that people can learn about your game and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I regularly, or I'm planning to kind of regularly keep up with doing devlogs on YouTube. I've got a couple on there already, but I am ultimately wanting to kind of be very transparent with the whole development process of the game. Like how it actually functions, how the game plays, and all that kind of stuff, and get general feedback as often as possible. So that's probably the number one place I'd say, aside from maybe like Twitter, just for those kind of small updates. But yeah, YouTube is the place where if you want to be maybe part of the development process and see behind the scenes with a lot of it, that's the space to be.
Good stuff. All right, so there, yeah, and that's how I found you. I found you on Twitter, and then it looks like you've also got your Discord linked here on the Kickstarter as well. Juan Castillo is asking, where are you from?
I'm from the UK, England.
Yeah. So super early in the morning. Now you get to start your day bright and early, right?
Yeah, yay. I mean, you say bright, it's like overcast
Oh yeah,
as
yeah.
all. Yeah, because we are famous for our sunny weather and beautiful beaches and yeah. No,
I
it's
forget.
terrible.
I'm from San Diego, so I forget that other people have clouds.
I know you forget that other people don't live in like absolute paradise.
Yeah.
Like I was actually I was in America just a couple months ago actually visiting some family, and it was just like, oh, it's so beautiful on the West Coast, man. Like it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, all right, chat. We're gonna go ahead and end the live stream now. Just a heads up on future stuff. If you want to know when there's like random live streams like this, make sure that you are joining my Discord. Just discord.gg/Relyea. It's probably also in the description as well. And Zelda comes out this week, so 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm gonna be jumping all over Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So hopefully I'll see you for that. I understand if you're gonna play it yourself first, but yeah. So Thursday night, and then probably most of the day Friday as well. So I hope that you'll join me on that journey, because that's actually where my YouTube channel started out, almost coming up on almost 6 years ago. My channel actually started out with Zelda Breath of the Wild content, so looking forward to all that. So yeah, anyways, LazyTeaStudios, Tom, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was a pleasure having you on the channel.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting. Really cool. Thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining.
You're very much welcome. Bye.